The Harvest Moon marks the start of what Vivzie calls the big 4 episodes of Helluva Boss, and I'm absolutely terrified to find out what she has in store for us. With that being said, what a damn promising start. Listen, I know I've said each episode is better than the last, however I honestly do believe that episode 5 is unquestionably, objectively the best of the bunch so far. It really took the drama and action to a place we haven't seen from this show before, and that's saying something because Helluva Boss has always had these elements in abundance. Not to mention, the animation during some of these scenes was simply mind-blowing. Obviously, I have a lot of thoughts about episode 5. In this video, I'll be discussing them with you guys. Before I begin though, I'd really appreciate if you guys could hit that sub button. Many of you tune in regularly, yet just don't. Bit rude, guys.
Y'all don't deserve to know my name.
Just kidding, it's your choice, obviously. So I think we have to talk about this hot piece of art first. God, I love Striker. I'm really impressed at Helluva Boss's ability to introduce these exceedingly iconic villains each and every episode. From his design to his personality, he was a total badass. I really like villains whose motives are shrouded in mystery, and I think he could serve as a great rival to Blitz in the future. Speaking of his design, you kind of have to wonder if he's really a normal imp. Same with Blitz. Striker mentioned they were above most of their kind, so maybe they're more than just imps. Or maybe he just meant they're more talented. Either way, he brought a lot of questions to the table, and I'm completely here for it. Did I mention he's voiced by Norman Reedus? Crazy. He nailed it and really sold the character. I don't think they could have made a better choice.
When you could partner up with me and kill the unkillable.
We were also introduced to Millie's parents, and I thought they were super fun. I don't think they were especially lovable or anything. They were kind of dicks and just the sort of generic parent stereotypes you'd expect, but they were certainly entertaining. You know what's even cooler than meeting her parents though? Meeting Millie's sister. Millie's sister is trans and is voiced by a trans girl. Hell fucking yes. This is why independent web cartoons are great, especially a show as inclusive as Helluva Boss. For some reason, this kind of thing is seen as too inappropriate for TV, but in a show full of LGBTQ+ rep, it was inevitable we'd be seeing trans rep eventually. And well, I'm really happy with what we got.
It doesn't count if they don't find the body.
You also have to appreciate that she's just allowed to simply exist, without having some tragic trans storyline. It's beautiful. We've talked about Millie's family, so now it's time to cover Millie herself. Millie is just fucking hilarious in this episode. She's got so many funny, relatable moments. It was great to see her shine because she's had even less of a spotlight than Loona, who was hilarious this episode as well. I of course have to mention how awesome she was during the struggle with Striker, and I loved getting a better idea of her relationship with Moxxie as well. However, I do wish the story focused on her as an individual a bit more. In a sense, she was kind of just a prop to Moxxie's story in the end. I would have really liked to seen her get a bit more development, seeing as she's the most underdeveloped character of the cast. With that being said, it is a perfect Moxxie episode. Moxxie has always been great protagonist material. Not only is he the sweetest, most endearing member of the cast, he's also the underdog. This makes him very likable and empathetic, and you always want to see him succeed. This episode really plays into his role as underdog.
Pathetic.
Everything is against Moxxie, yet he still hangs in there and comes out on top, for once, which makes for a very solid storyline in my opinion. I think as the show goes on, we're going to see him become less of a punching bag and become more assertive. Or at least, that's what I want to see from him. I adored the goofy slapstick hijinks of episode 4, but I think this episode has it beats hands down in terms of comedy. Every single joke hits for me. I always feel extremely guilty for laughing at Moxxie's misfortune, but Dan Horvitz is really just out here giving you no choice but to laugh. His reactions are always so priceless. Also, Striker telling Moxxie to go fuck himself had me on the floor.
You gonna finish that fucking sentence? Partner.
I touched upon the animation a bit in the intro for this video. but I really wanted to talk about it in more detail. First of all, I will say it's obvious they needed to make cuts in order to pull off the good stuff. One scene that stood out to me as a bit janky was this scene in Millie and Moxxie's bedroom. But I mean, the posing and expressions were totally fine even during those moments, so who really cares? The episode really did have some crazy shots, and it's only natural they'd need to trade off the quality of some parts in favour of others. This pretty complex rotation scene was especially breathtaking, and would you just get a load of the amazing use of colours and effects? It was an absolutely gorgeous episode, and a few shortcomings in certain areas was entirely worth it. Before I go, I feel like it's obligatory to comment on the pacing of each episode at this point. Personally, I thought this episode was the best paced of any episode so far. Everything was built up well, and things were satisfyingly resolved, in terms of both the storyline with Striker and Millie's parents, and it left just the right amount unanswered to create a sense of mystery and intrigue, without it feeling like they didn't explore anything enough or like it was rushed. All in all, Helluva Boss's 5th episode was awesome. I thought it was a perfect introduction to Striker, and seeing Millie's family has gotten me really excited for whenever we get to see Blitzes. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to support the channel and give it a like. Hell, why not click subscribe while you're at it? Oh, and make sure to share your thoughts on either this review or the episode itself in the comment section down below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.